Wow. Boing. 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 Wow. You just got milked. Huge breaking news. Wow. As we talked about in yesterday's webisode, if Bitcoin breaks this level here, we will be dropping significantly below this line most likely. However, there are still two huge scenarios to watch out for this week. One of them brings us on trajectory to head towards 5,000, and one of them actually heads us toward trajectory to break $12,000 this week. You gotta check this out. Bitcoin currently found support at the top of this symmetrical triangle that we seemingly broke out of earlier this week. We actually found support dipping all the way down slightly below the 21-day moving average, but now currently we're sitting exactly on this level. What does it mean for Bitcoin's price? And specifically, we're getting a nice wick, a nice bounce right at this level. However, if this target does not hold up, we'll be heading down to this specific price. And you guys, if this price breaks, we are going to be heading much lower in my opinion. And as well, with only hours away until we get this weekly candle close, how are we going to end this thing? Make sure to be watching these charts tonight because the price gets very volatile. The price goes nuts just minutes before we get the closes. And as well, forget 10,000 US dollars, Bitcoin could break 12K and catch everyone off guard if this happens. We'll get into this. And you guys as well, $90 million daily. We're going to talk about what it would mean to sustain Bitcoin at 100,000 US dollars. And specifically, this price point here may shock you. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Let's get it. Wow, what's going on, Squirter Squadron? Welcome back to another insanely epic webisode of Bitcoin. We got a lot to delve into today because today is the day that we'll be deciding what this week's likely momentum swing is going to be. And as well, we have potentially, as of right now, a massive gap, well, a decent gap to the upside here on Bitcoin's price. So that is huge. You know, we love upside gaps, okay, when we have the price open below what it was before the weekend started, guys. So that's actually, in my opinion, it's my favorite to look forward to in terms of gaps, okay? I love when we have upside gaps as opposed to downside gaps. So huge. We have a lot to get into with that. Wow, and as well, guys, we actually doubled the like goal of the last video. Squirter Squadron has been coming in so strong. So guys, we're going to be giving away one of these ledgers in this webisode, but make sure to hit that comment, like, turn on subscribes, dings to enter, because we will be giving more of these bad boys away, guys. The Squirter Squadron is stronger than ever. Soon, we will no longer be the Squirter Squadron, but we will become the Alphabet Army, guys. So much to get into with this webisode. Cannot wait to just delve right into it. So without further ado, let's get into these charts. So guys, in just hours away from now, we will be getting this weekly candle close. What does this mean for Bitcoin's price? 6 weeks in a row that we've gotten rejected off of this key level right around 9,700 US dollars. Absolutely key, crucial, critical level that we've been failing to break. Now let's actually switch to this chart so you guys can see we were holding this line for 3 daily candles. Let's actually zoom in here so you can see this. 1, 2, 3, and so far we've broke below it. Now this is good in my opinion for one because we're going to be getting a CME gap to the upside. The gap, this is the fifth when it closed right around 96. Currently we're at about 94.70. So if it closed right now, basically we'd have like a $130 gap to the upside, which is not very significant. But again, we still have like, as I'm filming this, we still have like 9 hours until we get that close. So aside from that, we actually didn't get a pullback to any of these significant lines here. I would want to see one down to at least 92, which is huge. But guys, what we've been saying for 3 weeks now, 88, which is right here, okay? This is where I would love to see a pullback. If things get more crazy over the next 24, 48 hours, I'd love to see a pullback right to about here. I think that would be a perfect setup. For one, that would also line up perfectly with this. This is the 8,800 right about here, where the 50-day moving average is, which is also the bottom of this symmetrical triangle if we came back to visit that. And that is also creating a third higher low. Okay, this was the first one. Well, the first one was all the way down here about like 80, 100. Then it was like 86, and then if we got like 88 right here, that could still be an overall pretty good pattern. Now, this pattern is pretty much, for the most part, it seems pretty busted. However, these lines still play a key role, and specifically, irregardless of this pattern being busted, the 92 and the 88 have been very key long-term horizontal support and resistance. So these levels right here that we have in orange go back a lot further than just this pattern. So keep that in your noggin. That's what we're expecting for that. If we get a break below 88 though, I think things could get a little more treacherous. I think if we get a break below 88, then I definitely think we might be seeing $8,000 pretty quick. Okay, I definitely think if we break 88, that's when we could see a pretty big downswing, a pretty big move to the downside. But again, guys, looking on this chart as of right now, I mean, it's still holding up right now. We got a little bounce right at about 95. It went a little below that, but we spent a lot of time right here over the last few hourly candles. Bounced right back up, and currently we're sitting back on this descending line of that symmetrical triangle. So really important to keep an eye on. So that is the bearish scenario, really. If we break 88 right here, I think we're going to go to 8,000. And for short term, I think that's the bearish scenario. We covered the ultimate bearish scenario yesterday of what our ultimate pullback target would be. So if you want to know what that is, then definitely go check out yesterday's webisode. But in today, we'll talk about a different scenario, okay? So we can start off here. Forget 10,000. Bitcoin could break $12,000 and catch everyone off guard. So what are they referring to here? We'll get into that article, but specifically on these charts, if we do get a true break above this huge consolidation pattern for the past 2.5 years, the past 2.5 years, I think we're going to get a massive break if we actually get a confirmed one. Now, we haven't gotten that yet. We've dipped our head above here, and then recently, just a few days ago, but we haven't gotten one. If we actually get a true break, 12,000 most likely will be a very intermediate target, and it will smash through the last few previous lower highs here, going back for the past like 7 months. 7-8 months now, actually. So that would be really bullish for the market. 12,000 could absolutely explode. So let's jump into that article first here. The main things I want to cover by this Keith Waring Cointelegraph article, I just have a few things highlighted. Not going to go through the whole thing. So each time Bitcoin passes 10,000 and gets pushed under, people celebrate and then it gets pushed under. It's almost becoming too predictable, and this is exactly why the eventual breakout could catch everyone off guard, he says. So are there any signals that can help us determine when this might be? Let's take a look at the largest crypto by market cap, BTC. So he just has a few different things here. I'm not going to cover all these. A lot of these I talk about normally anyway, the Fibonacci targets. Here, I think this one's interesting. Now, order books I don't think are super reliable. They change all the time. However, this is interesting here. Taking a look at the order book for Binance, large sell orders that were previously between 9,800 and 10,500 are no longer there. This could be an early indication large sellers have a new target in mind. And far as higher timeframes are concerned, about 11,800 and 13,900 are the next logical options based on previous monthly resistance and Fibonacci levels. Then it talks about the weekly ascending channel that we talk about a lot. It looks on some smaller time frames. Now, even on the hourly chart, there is some bullish divergence with the price trending downwards, but the MACD trending upwards. So you see that price going down, but the MACD is going up. That's bullish divergence there. As such, the bullish scenario of extending towards the first key resistance of 10.5, that huge level that we've gotten rejected off time and time again this month and last month. 10,500 US dollars looks likely in the short term. Finally breaking out of this level would put 12,000 firmly within reach before experiencing heavy overhead resistance around that $14,000 level, which you guys can see that here as well. That would be, I mean, if we broke this level here, then that would be the next substantial thing. And I think one of the reasons that he's saying that, aside from Fibonacci, which we can show on here, you guys can see those Fibonacci's there. This is why 14 is huge. Actually, it's like right about that area. Fibonacci is around 13,000, but it went all the way up to 14, so that's why he's saying that. But then specifically on this chart, if we broke out of this area, which we've been failing to, which is the 10.5, if we broke that, our next lower high was around 12,000. So that's why he says this. So wait, this is the first one we have to break, then this is the second one, and then this one. And guys, I want to say something. After we break this one, there's literally nothing else. So after we break 14,000, I think that if we break 14,000 concretely and we have a lot of momentum going up, I think we're going to smash through 20K. I don't think we're going to need to get to $17,000 or $18,000 and creep up to like $19,000 before breaking 20K. I think if we break 14,000 US dollars, we will be passing 20K very shortly after. So, I mean, obviously, these are the last zones of this entire chart for the last 2.5 years. We break this one, we'd go into number 2, and if we break number 3, then I think we're going to go on to all-time highs. That's just how I see it on this chart, and I think a lot of people agree with that. There's literally like no resistance built into these charts above those levels. So if we break those levels, in terms of simple technical analysis, we would be, if we break 14K, we would be sliding past 20,000 in my opinion. So that's kind of the more bullish scenario. The other thing I want to cover here, $90 million daily, what it would mean to sustain Bitcoin at about 100,000 US dollars. So Joseph Young here for Cointelegraph. The main point I want to highlight here is this. For Bitcoin to hit 100,000 US dollars, it would need to achieve a market cap of about 2 trillion US dollars. Now keep in mind, even at the peak of 2017, 2018's bull run, the market capped out around 800 billion US dollars. So like 4/5 of a trillion. So 80% of $1 trillion is where it capped out. And for Bitcoin to maintain 100,000, it would only need to be about 2 trillion, which seems pretty high. But that is only a fourth of what gold's market cap is. And guys, I'll tell you one thing. I believe firmly, I think Bitcoin is going to go on to just completely, go way over 100% of gold's market cap. I think Bitcoin will eclipse gold's market cap and make it look like nothing. So that is around 25% of gold's market cap if Bitcoin would have a valuation itself, just Bitcoin, not other coins, of 2 trillion. In other words, the perception of Bitcoin as an established store of value has to increase. Institutional, retail, futures, and options market activity also have to reach new levels. So it's really important here. And the other 2 quotes I have from this article here, ThetaSeek is a trader. He says, at 100,000 per Bitcoin, the market has to absorb a miner supply of $90 million daily. Assuming that there are 10 million people worldwide buying Bitcoin on a regular basis, it would cost $9 per person to sustain those price levels. I've met people who spend more than $9 on coffee. And the last thing here, he also says, data suggests otherwise, though. Holders throughout the past 3 all-time highs have not been selling insignificant portions. 60% of Bitcoin has not moved for more than 2 years. Okay, so that's huge. Long time supply of Bitcoin will eventually equal the new mining supply. So absolutely very big. I think the point of that was just highlighting that it's very, very reasonable to see Bitcoin above 100,000. All right, so let's pick the winner and get YouTube comments. Wow. What do we have? 585 comments. Good job, my Chungalung. This is huge. Let's see who the winner is. Andy Dale says, great video, thumbs up, thanks. Wow, Andy, my precious, make sure to smash or just send me an email or contact me somehow. Reply to your YouTube comment, the original one, and wow, we can get that ledger sent out to you guys. Guys, absolutely huge. Great things are on the horizon, but we could see a dip over the next few days, and I personally want to see 8,800 so darn bad. And as well, guys, we do have our final sale for T4 version 3 before we come out with T4 version 4 later on this month. If you put in the code June at checkout, you'll get $30 off the full price. And this is the last sale before we go on to T4 version 4. Absolutely mega huge. If you want to learn amazing trading tips, if you want to learn altcoins, if you want to learn just basic stuff you need to understand about charting, specifically how I do charting, if you want access to my literal charts that I'm also using and updating every day in the videos, then those you have access to those as well. And once you have the course, you have this access to this for the rest of your life. We have dozens, hundreds of people actually already enrolled. So guys, make sure to check it out if you're interested. Again, this will be the final sale before we update to version 4. And the code that you put in at checkout is June, June. Guys, as well, you have to make sure you actually put in the code and it'll show like minus $30 from the total price. Because some people email me being like, oh, I didn't get the discount, and they didn't put in the code. You have to actually put in the physical code of June at checkout. Right here, it'll say add coupon, okay? And that's where you'll put in the code. June, apply, minus $30. There you go. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.